Hello, everybody, and welcome or welcome back to the second shelf and to a huge, probably very long book haul. More than 7 books this time, I can promise you, as you can probably tell from the thumbnail. July was my birthday month, and I always want books for my birthday, and that's what I got, and lots of them. So, yes. I will start with the books that were sent to me by friends from all over the world. The first one I want to show you is this one, a non-fiction by Yong Chang, Empress Dowager Chi. This was sent to me by Heidi from my reading life. Thank you very much, Heidi. And you can see a picture of the Dowager Empress here. She is, I've read an other book, fictionalized account by Pearl Buck, and I'm interested in China. We will buddy read this book for sure. It's 19th century, a dynasty, and this woman started as a low concubine of the emperor and became very powerful. I think it's a fascinating figure, so really looking forward to reading this with you, Heidi. And also the next one, which is more on the light side, because Heidi also gifted me A Perilous Undertaking by Diana Rayburn, and it's the second in the Victoria Speedwell mystery. We will also buddy read this. This is a historical fiction mystery, and I read together with Heidi the first one, A Curious Beginning, and the main character, what's her name? Veronica. Veronica is an orphan with a kind of a mysterious past, and she gets into private investigating and meets this other private investigating stoker who also has a mysterious past, and they join together to investigate crime. It's really endearing, lighthearted. I mean, with some grit in it, not only the crime, but also the past of the two main characters. But it's something, if you want something in terms of historical fiction mystery that is, making you happy, feel good, this series is a good choice. So those are the 2 books gifted to me from Heidi, from my reading life. And then Adam from Memento Mori also sent me 3 books and other stuff that I'm not going to show because I already put it away and forgot to take it out. So he sent me bookmarks and pens and notebooks and all the good stuff that you need when you are a reader and a writer. But he also sent me 3 books. The first one is by an author I have never heard of, and that is Weird Fucks by Lynn Tillman. She is a contemporary American author, and this is a novella published first in the 1970s and now republished by, what is the publisher's name? Peninsula Press. So it's about a woman in the 70s, and there is obviously sex involved. So thank you, Adam. He also sent me 2 books, non-fiction by Ursula Le Guin. First, this one, Carrier, what am I doing here? This one, Telling is Listening. Those are essays. I think 10 or 15 years worth of essays. It's a really nice little book. Also the format, and then this very, very short one, The Carrier-Bag Theory of Fiction, which is about fiction, especially the hero's tale, the story of fiction origin in this slim little book. So as you might remember, if you follow my channel for a while, Adam and I started to read through Ursula Le Guin's work. And now I have an itchy nose. Sorry about that. And we are, 2/3 of the way. We have a little break at the moment. But these are books that, also are on the list to read. And I'm still having an itchy nose. Sorry about that. The next 2 books are books that I bought for gift vouchers from friends. The first one is the annotated Mrs. Deloway. This is one in a series, I think, what is it, Norton and Company. They have this whole list of annotated classic works, and I've been meaning to get this book for a long time, but it's not cheap, so I was happy when Terri from Miss Terri B sent me a gift voucher so I could buy this book. It's really beautifully done and extensively annotated, as you can see. Can you see this? Mrs. Deloway is one of these texts that I keep rereading and always want to have more information. So I'm really happy to have this. So thank you, Terri. The other book hasn't arrived yet, so I will leave a picture up here, and that is a book that I bought for a gift voucher that I got from Kathleen, who is taking a break from BookTube, but I'm sure at some point she will come back, and that is Eleanor Herman, Off With Her Head. It's a feminist text exploring how we deal with powerful women, and we don't deal well with it. So the author explores, like she said, 3,000 years of us in a patriarchy not willing to accept powerful women and how society reacts to that. I already read this book on audio, and it's really, really fascinating. So yeah, I'm looking forward. It's coming from the US, so it will take a little while, but I expect it beginning of August. So yes, thank you, Kathleen. And then I have a whole stack of books that I picked also myself for gift vouchers that I got from friends in Holland and from my mom. So that's a whole collection of books. And we start with a couple of books, all nonfiction, about really interesting women. And the first one is this, of Laura Clarage, The Lady with the Borzoi. That's a biography of Blanche Knopf. Now, Blanche and her husband Alfred Knopf founded Knopf Publishing in 1915. And the logo of the publishing house, if I remember, I will put the logo up here, is a running borzoi, and she came up with the idea, Blanche Knopf did. So Knopf is the American publisher of Thomas Mann, and if I could choose a publisher to publish my books, if I could choose from any publisher who would publish my books, I would choose Knopf, because I have so much connection with books that I love, but especially with Thomas Mann. This was my first novel, about Thomas Mann, and I read so much about his relationship with this couple, and especially with Blanche Knopf. And she is such an extraordinary figure, getting especially German literature into the American market. She had this drive to find good books to be translated for a big part and into English and published. So yeah, I'm really excited about this book. Another very, very interesting woman you might have never heard of is Claudia Jones. She was a Black communist activist in the US, and then had to immigrate because of McCarthyism, and she went to Great Britain and was an communist activist there. So I bought this book, Claudia Jones, A Life in Exile, which is kind of a biography, but more in, topics. Claudia and the British Communist Party. I find her absolutely fascinating, and for some reason, she seems all but forgotten. And I don't hear a lot of talk about her, even in the community, whether it's left or black community. But I thought she was a fascinating figure. So this book, I'm looking forward to all the books, of course. And then I finally bought myself a copy of Maya Angelou's first memoir or autobiography, I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings. I read part of that book already, but I've never owned a copy. This is not my favorite type of book in terms of size. It's a paperback, but in a very small size, and I have this kind of huge, not huge, but clunky hand, so I don't know. And I'm not too thrilled about the paper either, because it's this very cheap, very white paper, Ballantine books, so I don't think you did a very good job. So I will probably reread this in another format, either on script or maybe get an ebook. But I wanted to have the autobiography on my bookshelf, even though it's, like I said, not my favorite type of format. Another interesting woman that I feel is kind of almost forgotten is Cibil Bedford. She was, as it says on the blurb here, one of the most remarkable writers of the last century, and her work has repeatedly returned to the often extraordinary circumstances of her life. So I bought her memoir, Quicksands. This is our author. I don't know whether you have heard of her, whether you have read some of her books. This was published, I can't really see when it was published, 2005. So she was born in 1911 in Germany. But she grew up in Italy, England, and France, and she authored 8 books, including A Legacy, which I really loved, and Jigsaw. So I'm interested to reading about her life. Cibil Bedford. If you have never heard of her, check her out. And then a collection of 52 interesting women, a book that I saw on Heidi's channel first, I think, and that is Headstrong, 52 Women Who Changed Science and the World by Rachel Swaby. Swaby is a freelance journalist, and she writes for Wired magazine, for instance. So here you have, like the tin says, 52 women starting, divided into, areas of science, medicine, biology, genetics, from the 19th century, the 17th century, on to, I think the last one is died in 2014, 2014. So especially in the sciences, art is also horrible when it comes to female producers, but science for sure still is a very sexist environment to be a woman and to try to have a career. And it's not something that happened 100 years ago and is now not valid anymore. I've read plenty of books of female scientists in the 20th or even 21st century who still struggle with the fact that the environment is not welcoming for women. And you often have female work, the Matilda effect is a scientist explores something, has some big breakthrough, and then she is not credited for it. So I really love that Rachel Swaby tried to put these 52 women together for us to learn about them. And next one is a heavy book about art. Art is one of my favorite topics to read about. I love looking at art, especially paintings. I'm not big in performance art, sculpture. Nah, I don't really know a lot, but painting is something that very much interests me and excites me. And when I came across this book by Katie Hassel, The Story of Art Without Man, and it's a history of art, starting, I think it was published in 2019. So it starts in the 17th or 16th century. So it's not ancient art, but it starts in relatively modern times, like I said, 16th, 17th century, Baroque. And then it goes on to explore artists, female artists in that particular area and era as well. And it's really nicely done with pictures. So this is something that I will probably not read, in one go, cover to cover, but I think it's important to realize how much we are missing if we leave women out of our history, whether it's in science or whether it's in art or whether it's in literature. If you look at the canon, the so-called official canon, there's hardly any women there. And women did write, even though it was difficult, until maybe the 18th century or 19th century, but they're still there. And then one of my other favorite topics is physics. And I bought a book by Jana Levin, who is a physicist, and it's essays, Black Hole Blues, and other songs from outer space. So it is, I don't know how many essays we have here, 16. So it is about the status quo of modern physics, and that's something that really intrigues me. And I read her book about Gödel and Alan Turing, Madman Dreaming of Turing Machines, which was a novel. And I always watch her when she is giving a talk. She's often on YouTube, on Star Talk. So she's really interesting and well-spoken. And she is a professor of physics and astronomy at Columbia University. So there you go. And the last nonfiction is by an author that I really admire, and that is Arundhati Roy, The Ordinary Person's Guide to Empire. This is a pretty short collection here's a youthful picture of our author, and this is a short collection of essays about colonialism. The empire. So yes. Speaking of Arundhati Roy, if you follow my channel, you probably know that I struggle with her fiction. But because I really love her nonfiction, Asadi, a book that I read recently about freedom, I love listening to her when she talks, and I was like telling myself, you need to put more effort into her fiction. So I bought her latest novel. She only has published 2, I think, and that is The Ministry of Utmost Happiness, which I tried, I think it's 2019 or something, first published. And I tried to read it and put it away because I couldn't get along with it. But she means so much to me as an activist, as a writer, as an intellectual, that I felt I want to put more effort in giving this another try. So we'll see how that works. Another author that I very much admire, also contemporary author, is Susan Abulava. Bulhava. So I bought The Blue Between Sky and Water, which is one of her earlier novels. I haven't read this one. I really loved the work that I read. I did. Her first novel was Mornings in Jenin, and I thought that was brilliant. And another one I read, the title escapes me, something with love in a cruel world or something. So she's a Palestinian author, I should say, living in the US, and her novels always deal with the plight of the Palestinian people, which is much more topical than we would wish that it is at the moment. And finally, I bought the last book in the Patternist series, Pattern Master by Octavia E. Butler. It's one of my projects to, first of all, to read more Octavia Butler, but I also started this series, and this is the last one that I have to read in order to complete the series. So this is all the books. If you are interested only in books, because we're not quite done yet, bye, and I'll see you in the next video next Sunday. But I also bought stationery. Let me just get the books here out of the way. Because when I write, and a lot of people ask me, whether there are specific things that I have when I write, when I work. So I do. The first thing that I started years and years and years ago when I was first in the US, and that was in 1985-ish, 7-ish, something like that, I discovered the legal pad. So I buy these in yellow and in white. Ooh. And I use them for longhand drafts of things that I write, essays, or now I botched the camera. So the white ones is for nonfiction, drafts of nonfiction, and the yellow one is for drafts of fiction. There you go. Then I'm very particular about pens and pencils. So I need things to underline or mark, and I always use this Stabilo in various forms, but that's my favorite brand. When it comes to pens, I buy them in bulks. That's also something that I discovered when I was in the US. I discovered the big round stick, and I've been using that particular pen ever since. So that's 30 years plus, 35 years probably. So I bought a whole stack, and I just love, they change how it looks, but it's always round. And I really like the feel of it. I like the way the pencil writes. So the big round stick has been my company for writing since 1985-ish. So that's 15 and 25, 40 years. Dear God. And the last one I want to show you is pencils. I'm also particular with pencils. It's again Stabilo, that's the firm, and I use this black HB pencil because I like the color. I need a rubber at the end to erase stuff, and these pens are just fabulous. So that's also what I bought: pens, markers, pencils, and legal pads. And now we are done. Under 25 minutes. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked this extended book haul with the stationery at the end. I'm looking forward to your comments as always, and I will see you all soon in a regularly sized video next Sunday.